Creating symbols in Illustrator. So a symbol is basically art objects that I create and store in my symbols panel. Let's go ahead and open that symbols panel so we can take a look at it. Under window and down to symbols. So this is the symbols panel. The symbols panel has some items already in there. Illustrator starts you with some symbols. We also have what's called a symbol library menu right down here. It looks like a little stack of books. When I click on that, I'm able to see many of the additional libraries that come preloaded with hundreds of symbols in here for you to use. We'll come back to that in a minute. So our artwork here can be made into a symbol. Once I create a symbol, then that artwork is stored in the symbols panel. Think of the symbols panel as sort of a database. So it's a great place to store artwork that I plan to use again and again and again. And that's what the benefit really is that I can decrease my overall file size, because we know that the more pieces, the more components, the greater the number of objects, the greater my file size will be. Large number of objects, things that have lots of gradients and blends, increases my file size tremendously. So being able to take the complexity of this and simplify it, thus reducing my overall file size, is a huge benefit. So what can my symbol include? I said it's all this Illustrator artwork. So I look at my flower here. Let's just zoom in and take a peek here. So this is objects, multiple objects, different types of coloring, some effects such as transparency. There's pucker and bloat on this as well. So I can include text. I can include a compound path. I can include grouped paths, blends, effects. I can include brush strokes, I can include gradients, and I actually can embed other symbols inside of a symbol. So I kind of get that embedded one inside of the other inside of the other. I can do that. So let's go ahead and create a symbol. It is very simple, and there really are three different methods to do this. You're going to find that one of them is your preferred method, the method that maybe makes the most sense to you, is the most comfortable, and that's the way that you're going to do it, and you likely won't go and do it a different way. You'll stick with that one method. So here are the ways that we can do that. With my artwork selected on the artboard, I can go into my symbols panel here and click the new button right down here at the bottom, new symbol. When I do that, I get my symbol options dialog box, and here I can choose to name this. It's a good idea to name it. We'll call this flower 1. The type of symbol, we have some options here between a movie clip and a graphic. You want to stick with the movie clip symbol. If you have studied Flash, Adobe Flash, or Adobe Edge, this will likely make more sense to you when we talk about symbols and instances. However, for our Illustrator world, we're just going to know that we have to choose movie clip and just accept that and choose it all the time. So, and once I have this, I can click OK, and it will appear here. And the tooltip, of course, will be my name that I gave it, flower 1. So that's one way that I can choose to define it. Notice that actually this has, when I click on it, I get one big bounding box around it, and this is highlighted. That is because this is now an instance, meaning that this is not my original artwork anymore. It is a reference to the original artwork. That's the symbol. So in terms of what Illustrator is remembering, it's remembering my full artwork here in the symbols panel, but out here on the artboard, it's remembering a specific positioning. It's representing it's remembering how it's represented, the attributes of it. So it's a virtual representation, really, and this is how it saves that disk space, and it can save us time if we want to do duplications. So I'm going to make a symbol of a symbol, because just to show you that you can. So again, I did originally select the whole thing, all of the artwork, clicked the new icon, made a new symbol. I could also do the same with my little menu, my options menu that drops down from my symbol panel, and there's new symbol here as well. Notice there are some other options here such as duplicate, delete, and edit that you may find useful down the road. So I can choose new symbol here. Again, it's going to name it. So now it's a symbol of a symbol. But there it is again. And the last way that maybe is the easiest for most people to understand is, again, to select, and imagine this is selecting all of my artwork. Click and just drag it, and you can see I get this orangish yellow highlight around my symbols in my symbols panel. That indicates that it's highlighted. I let up on my cursor, and again, I get to name it. Always a good idea to name it descriptively. And there it is. So those are 3 methods that you can choose to do it. You can also press F8. Your F8 key will also open up the symbol options, and again, name it. Click OK, and there it is. So really I showed you 4 ways. You can either use the new icon here when your artwork is selected. You can use the menu options drop down, choose new symbol. You can simply drag it into that symbol panel, or with it selected, press F8. So many options, many ways to create a symbol. Once we have the symbol saved, then the fun begins.